Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, today, Wednesday, 11th of March 2020. We're doing it for you. Pep Talks in the morning. I am Anthony Dufu, Deputy Political Leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party and your host for today's show. Action pack, lots going on. But hey, it's a good day, good morning, and again, thank you so much for tuning in this morning. And again, we have a lot of things happening. We have a guest calling on the second half of the show, so definitely people don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, check it out. Well, I hope everyone, it's going to be a good day, and I do hope everyone has, a good trek into work this morning. It looks pretty good outside, so you know how that goes. Let's see how it is later on when the sun rises now. That's when the melee starts. Road as usual, things going absolutely crazy, traffic. Well, I see lately they are trying to, I don't know, maybe they're watching the show, they're listening to what's coming out from PEP. Because we're always, making noise about how the traffic is on a regular across the country, especially in the Port of Spain, central and south area in the town, within the city limits and so on. So I see that they're taking some measures, police and stuff at key intersections and trying to manage some traffic. So I just hope, keep it up, guys, keep it up, and still really scrutinize how the traffic is running on the road and where the issues are really, and devise a proper time management plan in allowing cars to pass through that intersection as efficiently as livingly possible. Information is key. That's what we're talking about. So let's dive right into it. Funniest thing that's trending right now: our Prime Minister going to Ghana and bringing back yam. Trinidad is just too early, It too early, boy. I don't know what to say. So what is it? Vision 2020, PNM supporters, the administration of the PNM is our 2020 vision, yam, bulbs, tanks, and 30 grams of weed. I'm just asking for a friend. I mean, really, think about this for a second, Trinidad and Tobago. What is our leader really saying here, right? You are also talking about helping in development of their country and all of that. I don't know. I just don't know what to say. Yam, Trinidad and Tobago have the best yam, butter yam in the world. But we bring in yam from Ghana. Do we have a large population in Trinidad and Tobago that's consuming yam, where we have need to source yam from Ghana? I'm just, again, throwing it out there. I try to make sense of the thought pattern of the Prime Minister, who is giving this man guidance, who is really Trinidad and Tobago, boy. Trinidad and Tobago. Leadership is what we're looking for, because again, we bring in yam here. Our next question: how are we purchasing this yam if we planning to bring this yam here in Trinidad and Tobago? How are we going to be using foreign? Is it U.S. dollars that the purchase is being made in, or are they going to be accepting our TT dollars? Woo! Which we all know that no one accepts outside the shores of Trinidad and Tobago. You can't really just go anywhere and have TT change like normal. There's no exchange that people would actually accept TT and give you their currency in any other country. Really, really, really. You may be lucky enough in a couple of the airports around the world, maybe in Canada or England, I guess, maybe because they are part of the CARICOM. But other than that, crapo smoking your pipe, you're not able to do any exchange with the TT dollars. So I'm wondering if Ghana is one of those countries that's going to be accepting our TT currency, only because, again, is anyone looking at the global environment that is taking place right now? Is anyone in leadership in Trinidad and Tobago sitting down and scrutinizing what's happening beyond the shores of Trinidad and Tobago, where economics and where the environment is concerned? Wall Street right now is in a total mess, and there's a lot of talk right now about a global recession. What does that say for Trinidad and Tobago? What does that say for the citizenry of this country? A country that depends heavily on importing key items in order for the country to be sustainable and survive, as far as the citizens are concerned. We are consuming, our consumables are as close as 70% coming into the country is what we're bringing in with imports, I'm sorry. What are we really doing though? And again, we say here all the time at the Progressive Empowerment Party, proactive. Being proactive, not reactive, not waiting for something to take place and then now trying to find a solution for the problem. Seeing the problem a mile away, or anticipating a possible outcome along that direction, and putting things in place systematically before it even happens. So you have mechanisms that are already poised, ready and waiting to pacify the situation. What am I to say to Trinidad and Tobago this morning, boy? It's middle of the week. Everybody is on the hustle, trying to make their money. Everybody is just trying to survive. That's the country that we have right now, Trinidad and Tobago. This is what we live every day. Because, like they say on the streets, it's about the hustle. You have to pay the bills. You have to feed your family, send your kids to school. You have to live. You have to, live. That's the point. You have to live. You have to eat. You have to survive. And the environment that Trinidad is presenting to its citizens is not a good one. There's lots of foresight right now where, especially within the Progressive Empowerment Party, we are seeing major issues the citizenry is going to be dealing with. And not far off. It's in the very, very near future. And when I say that, I'm not talking about the issues we're presently dealing with that is of the norm. We are talking a serious situation taking place here in Trinidad and Tobago because the price of oil has dropped. Like, there's a ridiculous price war taking place with Saudi and the Russians, and America is feeling a pinch where, they themselves, Wall Street is in a total mess. The economy around the world is going to slow down tremendously. Cost for product is I'm sure going to be skyrocketing, and access to certain things. You have countries that is basically, quarantining their citizens, like Italy, for example. There's a lot of things happening right now where there's a ripple effect that Trinidad and Tobago is actually going to experience. They're actually going to feel. The citizens of the country is going to actually not be in a good place in a very short space of time. Are we ready, Trinidad and Tobago? It's our leaders seeking the interests of the citizens and the country as a whole. I hear talk on social media and certain news networks, for example, Imbert saying we must bite the bullet and, establish a revenue authority. Now thinking about that, brother? Really? Seriously? We now trying to seek how we're going to streamline ourselves as a nation economically. I don't know, Trinidad. Our leaders are really just showing us time and time again their gross incompetence. They are showing us time and time again. PNM supporters, really and truly, there was a point I voted PNM in my life, yeah? I'm going to say it. There was a time I voted UNC as well. And, you know, the argument out there where people are talking about voting for the better of the lesser evils. Are you listening to yourself, though? Are you hearing what you're saying where this is concerned? I mean, seriously, Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, I just want to come on here and just start to preach about, you know, oh, what you're doing wrong and where you're supposed to see and all. I am not thrilled of doing this at all. Because I believe deep in my heart that Trinidadians are smarter than this. Trinidadians are supposed to know better for fact. Supposed to know, but you're not going to go into a relationship and have someone abuse you and be happy-go-lucky with that. You're not. You're not going to be happy in an environment like that. And there's going to be a point where you will want to exit from that relationship. And it's the same scenario that we're dealing with where you're pairing the citizenry where the government is concerned. The relationship is not a good one. And we talk about the opposition. They are not standing for the people. They are not seeking the rights, the freedoms, the democracy, the right to know for the people. So what is the purpose of you being there? I'm knocking everybody this morning because I have to wake up early in the morning. I have to now, as a citizen, feel to myself, well, hey, Alexander come and start a party, him and a handful of other people. And we have something now that can bring a level of change because these people don't want to be doing the same thing we've been doing for the last 57 years. I'm happy for that. Don't get me wrong. I am really, really happy for that. But why did it have to come to this? How? If these leaders that we've had in the past seek the interests of the people, because the only job they have is to bring betterment to the people, that's it. That is the whole purpose of the whole election, for every election gone by in the past, since we've had independence, of our people coming to us saying, vote for me, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do the other, and you're supposed to be in a better place, and you're supposed to be happy. And the people are not happy. 57 years, we're not happy. Before we had independence, Trinidad had the best education, top education in the world. Where are we with that today? Where there's only the prestige schools could bring out students that's scholars, that's well educated, and also what about everything else? When it was before that, everything was producing the best of the best. I don't know, Trinidad and Tobago, really and truly, we can't go through this anymore, and I'm saying and I'm preaching it. We cannot go down this road anymore. It is the year 2020. It's an election year here in Trinidad and Tobago. There's a lot of things that's simply not making sense at all. The people on the ground is not having any type of benefit whatsoever. Forget the handful of people that getting the little handouts and getting whatever under the table and have the little racket and bubble taking place. Forget them, because they are in the minority. They are in the minority. Go Lavantil, go Sealots, go Beetham, go Caranage, Labre, go Maloney, go parts of Arima. In every constituency, you have areas that's you have a large portion of the population that is living below the poverty line. Trinidad and Tobago, catching and nenin, who want to run down CPEP, work on URP and this and that and the other. I mean, really is all about handouts and all of that. We are not empowering the people. We are not giving a man, instead of giving him that fish, showing him how to fish. Let him go and fish. Instead of giving him that one fish, teach the man how to fish. Let him go and get 20 now. Let him fish whole day and get 100 fish now, man. Why not? Why not? 1.4 million people empowered. What will be wrong with Trinidad and Tobago at that point? Nothing. Nothing. Because you have money in your pocket. Your money have value. The people have hope and opportunity. There's a circulation of cash. We are developing in a rapid rate. I mean, there's only pluses here, you know. Only pluses going down the line. Empower the people. Empower them. We are dealing right now with a couple issues in a couple of the constituencies where we are going to brace the MPs of those constituency. Look out for it, look out for it. We're compiling all the footage and information and the back and forth and the whole 9 yards. We want to actually create a nice little ensemble to present to the population. So you see how your ministers that say that they are there for you, you will see how they work, how they are trying to bring betterment for you, because there's many constituents across the board in many different constituencies that are not having any betterment whatsoever, who have manhole open, pothole in the road, no water in the pipe. Look at that. It's still trending on Facebook right now and all our social media. I ain't seen the news even pick it up in any major way, where people have black water coming out of the pipes. Tell me, and you still had to pay WASA normal. Half of the time no water coming out of the pipes, but you still had to pay WASA normal every month. Is that making sense? Because guess what? If you don't pay your bill, WASA quick to come and cut your water, And it's that simple, it's that plain. No mercy, not even thinking twice. And it's the same scenario across the board with every other state agency. What are we doing, Trinidad and Tobago? We really could have a better place, We know that for fact, All the excuses both sides of the fence over the years have given the population, whether it be UNC or PNM, it is not true. It's simply because the people have not had the will in order to do it, in getting the job done, not wanting to be responsible for the portfolios they hold, in streamlining it to a way where they leave a legacy that like no other behind. But that was their mistakes. That was their faults of the past and present. That's what our leaders have been able to give us. And we still willingly accept it. We are saying now that you don't have to accept that anymore. You have a political vehicle, the Progressive Empowerment Party, with policies that are here designed, taking in account our demographics, our multicultural environment here in Trinidad, with different races, different religions, and we live in harmony, Here in Trinidad, we live in harmony right here. And the only time that we draw lines in a major way is during election. But it was designed that way. That's how it was designed from day one. Because they needed to ensure they held on to a level of power and a level of control. And the people are the ones who've been holding that shitty end of the stick across the board for the length and breadth till present day. You have an opportunity for change right now, Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm going to sell this to you because I am a regular citizen. I want change. I want betterment. I don't want to live the way I live anymore. I don't want my family living the way that they've lived. I don't want my children and the generations to come to have to go through what I have gone through. What many of the citizens across the board, all citizens for that matter, has gone through in Trinidad and Tobago to date. We can have better. We will have better. It's only up to you, Trinidad. It's really only up to you. Again, the Progressive Empowerment Party have people in it that wants to serve you, the population, the citizenry. Things to be fixed, things to be accountable, things to be transparent, because that's what we wanted, and we never got it, and we took the extra step because we know that we had to put our foot into the game. We need to have the people's eye and the people's ear and the people's mouth and voice in that parliament, seeking truly the interests of the people. Hold us accountable, Hold us accountable. Put us in that parliament. I'm saying to you, Trinidad and Tobago, put us, the Progressive Empowerment Party and its initiative. Look, on the 21st of this month, we're going to be announcing our candidates for this upcoming 2020 election. You cannot miss it. 5 p.m. right here, Stanmore Avenue, 19 Stanmore Avenue, Port of Spain. You cannot miss it, Trinidad and Tobago. You come down and you see the people that is brokering for change, that is brokering to serve you, that wants to bring betterment to Trinidad and Tobago. Come and see for yourself. Come and ask a question. Come and know for fact. We are regular people just like you. We don't want no blue lights. We don't want traffic. That's what we don't want. We don't want traffic. Keep your blue lights. Because with no traffic, there's no need for blue lights. Fix it. That's what we're talking about. Let's not have to be sitting in the hospital. You bust away your toe, or you break your hand, or you have some damage, something happened to you, you have to go to the emergency room in any one of the medical facilities in Trinidad and Tobago, east, west, north, south, Tobago, wherever. You must be taken care of within 5 minutes or less. Dealt with. Efficiency. It's an emergency room. Things to work. Trinidad and Tobago. I can't preach it enough, you know. Yeah, what I'm telling you, because I'm fed up, I'm tired, and really and truly, I can't stay quiet and I can't stay still no more about it. I can't just talk about it. I put in my money where my mouth is. It's that simple. And the members of this party is doing the exact same. We are sacrificing like no other before. And we are doing it for you and for us and our family and your family. For Trinidad and Tobago. That is our mission. Betterment. Betterment. And we could have it. Say what you want, you know. Say what you want. I have people right now that want to spin all kind of things, saying, boy, what is it doing? And this and that and the other. I say, what it is you doing? That's the question. You should ask yourself that. What you doing? Because you running down a party and supporting a party that not supporting you. And that's the bottom line. All these ministers and all these councillors and all these supporters on both sides of the fence, PNM till are dead, red and ready and yellow and steady and we running down the road, waving flags, skinning teeth, woo, bacchanal in the place. But what? After it's all said and done, you still had to sit down in traffic, you still had to bust your toe and stand up in the emergency room nearly half a day, if not a whole day. Your children still ain't getting good education. You're still dealing with crime. Your money still have no value. We're saying, what are you saying, Trinidad and Tobago? Tell me. Because I know you are better than that. I'm telling you, you know. I know for a fact. Because I see it with my own two eyes. Not being on the shores here in Trinidad, running to our next man land as a second class citizen, me meeting other Trinidadians, seeing how they excel to the top of their level, at the top of their game, in whatever field that they're in. Why? Because they had open opportunity, they had the avenues and choices to make for betterment for themselves. The money in the pocket had value. So why are we not trying to establish that here in Trinidad and Tobago, third richest economy in the Western Hemisphere, all the resources we have, agriculture, galore, oil, gas, sun, we can develop clean energies, we can be pioneers or lead in our region in so many different fields and industries. But yet, where are we? We are right where we are here. Trinidad about to fall apart, us going to a major recession, not being able to get stuff coming into the country for normal everyday needs, because again we important so bloody much. Trinidad is not in a good place. We are not in a good place. We have not made any major initiatives in diversifying the economy by ensuring we can be food independent, at least where we can feed the population. In a time like this, a crisis like this taking place globally, we are now going to try to acquire and assimilate county lands or state lands to try to now develop agriculture. And in fact, they're not even talking that right now. We here, the Progressive Empowerment Party, is talking that. We here are trying to identify certain lands. We have citizens that have acreage, growing razor grass, liking what the PEP is saying, and we have a program called PEP Farms. Because we are practicing what we preach. We are putting what needs to be put into place, being placed into government. We know exactly what we are going to do and how we're going to do it, the time frame it's going to take, the cost factor involved, and the betterment that the people would get at the end of the day. That's where we are. That's where the Progressive Empowerment Party is in our head, in our systems, in what we do for the last 3 years. Is preparing for this, having factual information and being ready, coming out the womb running. No time to creep, no time to crawl. Because the country needs us. They need patriots. They need people who have the determination to get the job done. Simple. Because we fed up. We fed up Trinidad and Tobago, and we cannot go on like this no more. Anyway. End rant. That's my morning. That is my morning, Trinidad and Tobago. That right there is my morning. That's how I feel this morning. That's how I wake up this morning. And I wake up like that every morning. Not cool. I want to wake up feeling good. I want to wake up feeling like, yes, I can't wait for this wonderful day here in Trinidad and Tobago. Me as an islander living on an island. People around the world taking vacation to come to us, and in awe and wish with all their heart that they had the opportunity to reside on a beautiful tropical island in the Caribbean. And what we do? We piss on it. That's what we do. We allow everybody to piss on it and still say it's okay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, da, da, da. One of those mornings, right? But anyway, time check right about now. It is 6:29, going on to 6:30. We're going to be going into a little break there, pay a couple bills, and again, later on in the show, we have a special call-in guest. Somebody I am really, really excited to talk to, and for you to as well hear the interaction and hear what is happening. And I would say this is a good note. This would be good news, for us, for Trinidad and Tobago, for our young people especially. And definitely stay tuned. I don't want to give too much out of the bag. So again, don't go anywhere. This is plain pep talks in the morning. We'll be right back, Trinidad.
Antel is Trinidad's most reliable and technically experienced ICT company, providers of quality structured cabling, Cat6 data fiber and power cables. We also stock cabling infrastructure basket-type cable trays for server rooms and data centers. Antel also installs and maintains video security systems including cameras, alarms and electronic entrance locks for businesses and residential properties. Call Antel 674-1406 or 783-9250.
Yes, Trinidad and Tobago, and we're back. And yeah, I had my rant this morning, and let me tell you, I still want to go on, but there's so much to talk about this morning. I don't want to just go on and on and on the same thing, because it's nothing new that we just found out. We know the environment that we actually live and operate in, and it's just a matter for us to really want to change that. So again, I just have to really push the whole fact of, you Trinidad, is all about you, man. It's all about you. You know what I mean? And again, here at the Progressive Empowerment Party, we do what is necessary in trying to bring information to the population, trying to let you know that you're not the only one that's thinking what you're thinking. We think it too, and is why we're here, is why we're doing what we're doing. And again, like I said earlier, I am not thrilled to have to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to come and do a show and all of this and be a part of and get into politics. That was not what I was striving for. I am just a citizen, as everyone else in the Progressive Empowerment Party, that is really, really fed up and tired of the madness taking place, and what our leaders, people who are calling themselves our leaders, to give us guidance, to take us in a better place, is just not doing it, and it's using all the excuses and making a mockery of us, and we don't want to deal with that anymore. So again, we are here for that change, and we need you, the people, and I keep saying it. Put us there in that parliament, and we will ensure you, Trinidad and Tobago, will hold the Progressive Empowerment Party accountable for our way forward. And we know that we're going to be walking into this in a really, really horrible time, because if you're talking about a global catastrophe economically, where the world goes into recession and everything else, as a broken country that we have here as Trinidad and Tobago, it's not going to be a walk in the park. But again, we are bringing the information to you. We are letting you know where we really are here in Trinidad and Tobago, where the citizens are, where our economy is, just where everything is on a platter being presented to us. That's just what it is. So, our top story, The Fall by Stuart Young. Now, let me tell you, that I'm not. It's not a joke. Hear what I'm saying? It's not a joke. It is really, really not a joke. Because this could be something very, very serious. The man fall and he hurt himself. Was not good. But last night Philip had posted out something, and I just said to myself, this man was reading my mind, boy. Reading it, just went into the brain and pull it right out. And I want to read, and I actually want to read it here for you this morning. Public release on Stuart Young's fall. Did the fire service that inspects stage fail to inspect Stuart's stage? Did UNICOT build it or contract it out? Was there a transparent bid process? And how much did we pay? Good question. Who was the project manager? Who signed off on the final structure? After the fall, how long did the ambulance take to respond to the emergency call? Here, any questions, Trinidad and Tobago? Here it, and I keep saying, I said it just now, I'm not making a joke of this, because this is a serious, serious situation here. The man fell, could have hurt himself very badly, and me, as a concerned citizen, Philip, Felicia, and the members of the Progressive Empowerment Party would like to know, as I'm sure the rest of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago would like to know, these said questions, because we are concerned, Stuart. We are, as citizens, because not only it happened to you, it could have happened to any one of us. So we're really, really concerned. At the San Fernando General Hospital, Stuart was made to take a number and wait his turn, as happens to every other citizen. Just asking, I'm wondering, because we don't want Stuarty to be standing there as every other citizen. How long was that wait? The standard 10 to 12 hours? Oh, I'm hoping not, Stuarty. Seriously, I'm really, could have broken the arm, taking it out of the arm socket there. Again, the release in itself hopes to shine a light on what exactly should be the takeaway from that whole situation, from Stuart's fall, from that entire environment. Because again, the question lies, if that was one of us, a regular citizen, how efficient would that have been? Would it have been as efficient as how Stuart had it after his fall? And will the answers be available to the population to the questions just asked? I'm asking for a friend, and that friend is the citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago. And that's how real it is. That right there is how real it is, Trinidad. So, again, Mr. Young, I do hope that you're okay and everything is up to par with you and you weren't hurt badly. But again, I do hope that you was taken care of very, very well. I do hope that you going through the system, if you did go through the system, that you were able to actually experience, see, or understand what the citizens are going through. Or did you not see, know, or understand what the citizens are going through? That's just my question. Because as a minister, I would believe that they would look at you as top priority. But I'm just saying that you are working for the people, which means to say you are an employee of the people. If the people are not able to be treated as bosses, as the ones who actually own this fine country, Trinidad and Tobago, the ones who have real right here, how come we are not experiencing the same thing that you are? That's the question. It's what we ask. It's why we do what we do, Trinidad. The place, is constant news all the time. Constantly. Of negativity. Constantly, Trinidad and Tobago. You have to make change, Mainstream media blocking us as much as they can because they can't afford for the message to come out there. But you can't stop the message. It's gonna get out there. It's getting out there. And people are waking up. They're understanding their right. They're understanding what is truly wrong. And they are actually seeing, by example, the people who are willing to actually change it, fix it, make betterment of it. Progressive Empowerment Party, that's it. That's it right there. And, to all other parties out there, I would say again, personally, for me, we, yes, have to come together. We must seek being able to be on the same page to bring betterment to the people. Everybody is who wants to be boss, from who I want to be boss, who want to retain what, who don't want to retain what. And at the end of the day, are we, we're saying we're here for country, but are we truly wanting to practice it? Are we truly taking that extra step forward? And we're not saying that the Progressive Empowerment Party is God's gift to politics. What we are saying is, what is the facts is that you have people here that is willing to do the job, that is able to do the job, and that is actually seeking the better interests of the people in every way, form, and fashion. Every single way, form, and fashion. That's what you have right here at the Progressive Empowerment Party. So, excuse us for wanting to stand our ground and not want to compromise the betterment of the people. I'm sorry, but we're not going to change. We're not going to compromise the policies for the betterment of the people. Sorry. If you really, really want change, if you really, really want betterment, we explain it to you all the time. We're not trying to take the people down a deep, dark road. The policies is not policies that's a pipe or a pie in the sky. It's not a pipe dream. It's reality. It can work. It's been tested before. It's been studied for the last 10 years. It's been developed for the last 10 years. We have a foolproof program and policy and procedure roll out for Trinidad and Tobago. It's called Reboot the Republic, because we know exactly what needs to be done, and we're here to do it. If you really want change, come on board. Yes, let's hold hands, tiptoe through the tulips, and bring that change to the people. What we're saying, we're not compromising that change in any way, form, or fashion. Because not one thing that we're saying, not one of our policies is there to hurt the people, or is there to enrich anybody, or not to have a level of transparency, accountability, or responsibility. It all enshrines that. Because the people deserve it. It's what we've been asking for way too long. And we say that we can have it. It's just up to you. It's up to the people. It's up to the players involved. That's just what it is. We want betterment. So, another slap in the face. Word is on the ground. Relocation of the High Court, costing the state $56 million. And they say we have no money, And like I said at the earlier part of the show, is anyone in leadership looking at the global environment economically? That the world is poised to now fall directly into a major recession due to the corona outbreak, countries having to quarantine and not have... there's a lot that's happening right now globally that will affect, if not affecting Trinidad and Tobago right now, which it is, but it's just going to get worse. Again, why are we spending $56 million to relocate the court? Something wrong with the courthouse right now? Again, asking for a friend. Citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. $56 million, What going to happen to the court that there right now? Where that going to go? What is that going to be repurposed for? How much is it going to cost the population? Great questions. Great questions. Let me tell you. Great questions. Who's asking it? The Progressive Empowerment Party. Because I ain't hearing it from the opposition. And I ain't hearing it from any other political party either. So again, Trinidad picks some nonsense, Who is scrutinizing the environment that we live and operate in? It's the Progressive Empowerment Party. Everybody's, that is the talk of the tongue right now, We're the ones that is as if we're the opposition. And yeah, we're doing the job of the opposition right now. Why is that? Because we're not collecting a salary. We're not. Just saying, Just saying. 3 years running. 3 years prior was no election year. We just was on the ground doing the job. Highlighting what needed to be highlighted. Going and dealing with issues head on. Right now we're dealing with UDCOT. We dealt with the issues that there was in the Maracas Bay area. The list goes on. We were there. I have some sycophants talking about we wasn't around for the floods. Really? We wasn't around for the floods. We were right there in the floods before the opposition or even the government of the day got to those communities. We were there. We were there in St. Helena, Madras Road. We were there. We were there in South. We were there. We were there in Chaguanas. We were there. But we don't have to have everything as a photo up. Shine up ourselves. Woo! Like Auntie Cam's driving down on the back of she 4x4 or truck or whatever. Giving out her hampers, and it's a big photo shoot. What is the purpose are you there for? For the photo shoot? Photo ops? Or was it really for the people, to help the people? And that's the point, Trinidad and Tobago. That's the point. It's not about show and skin teeth and how much of a celebrity you can be. It's not about that. It's about being on the ground, being in contact with the people and knowing exactly what's going on and actually finding solutions to the issues in real time, not no month and 2 month and year and how much years down the road, or if it ever being done. I yeah, no, man. I just I don't know what to say again. The fact of the matter is that we just need to ensure that we can bring the level of change that we need. We're not doing this for funds, no kicks, no giggles, not to make friends. That not at all. Not at all. We are here for a job to do. And that job is to bring betterment, to bring change, to make things work, to reboot the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, where the people can be in a much better place than where they are today. But anyway, 56 million, failure. Again. Failure. Again. It's that simple. Because there's no need for that to happen right now. Again, being a leader, be observant of the whole. See the entire environment, not just locally, internationally as well. And again, locally is in a total, it's just in a mess. And that's because of you. You are the one that has to be held accountable for it. Government. Because it's you that needs to put things in place in order to seek the interests of the people, of the state, of the country. And we're not in a good state right now. And I'm not even going to ask why. Because we know why. Incompetence. That is why. And that needs to change. No. Can't go on any further. So yes. In the news again, let me see what's happening here. Yeah, because we have another time check that's going to be coming up. I was reading on an article, and again, parents out there, you have to be very, very careful as to what it is you're giving your kids and that type of thing. There's a very unfortunate mishap that took place. A boy chokes to death while eating pylori, and I think it was a mother that picked her kid up from school, and I guess as a little snack or whatever the case is, the mother gave the kid a pylori, and this really unfortunate situation took place where this child chokes on this pylori. And again, parents out there, you have to be very, very careful, especially with young children. Just again, be very, very careful. And I'm not here to blame the mother or anything, or the family or parents for that matter. Again, it's just a cry for you to be careful, more careful, please, because you know how children can be, and then the kid probably was a little hungry after school and that kind of thing, and he just decided to put the whole thing in his mouth and figured that he could handle it. You never know, the car could have gone down in a little pothole, as we all know all over Trinidad and Tobago have potholes. So with that sudden jerk could have created that environment in the kid's throat where it got lodged in the throat. And again, it's just a matter of being careful, parents out there, because that is I just could imagine how this family is feeling right now after such an incident. It's not a good one. It's heart-wrenching, because when I read it, I was like, damn, because I'm thinking to myself, unconsciously we do it. We do it all the time. Parents across the board, we do it all the time. You might be driving down the road and you have a little snack and the kid is in the back, and you just pass the snack to the back, and you just keep the kid occupied and quiet now. Because you know how children could be. They can be a real handful. And especially while driving and you're in traffic, you're already frustrated. You just want the child to just relax yourself now, man. Hey, hold that. And cool yourself in the back there. You know what I mean? And again, it's just for us to be very aware of the environment and what we're actually giving the child. And, in a vehicle that is being driven on roads that vehicles should not even be driving on to begin with. They talk about if a car is roadworthy. I ask the question all the time: is the road car worthy? We have a bloody pitch lake here in Trinidad, and our roads are just deplorable. It's horrible. It makes no bloody sense. The entire Caribbean. Every time I travel and go, whether Antigua or Barbados or Jamaica or wherever, my friends, they laugh at me all the time. They're like, Anthony, is like, you guys have a pitch lake. Why your roads are like that? When they come to Trinidad and they get their rentals or whatever, they get lost sometimes in some of those potholes. And we can't be proud about something like that. We should have much more pride in the works being done as our infrastructure, as our works are concerned in Trinidad and Tobago. Our roads, our sidewalks. I mean, we're supposed to be in a much more modern place where we adopt and adapt different technologies from around the world. And implement them here, possibly even manufacture or develop here for ourselves. Again, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Why do we insist on still continuously wanting to be followers instead of leaders? I talk, in fact, we have a segment coming up, not in this show. We may just have it on Monday coming. I'm hoping for that individual to be back on the shows here in Trinidad. I'm also hoping for them to actually come on the show itself. So I'm working on that little project right now, and that's the part 2 to our decriminalization of marijuana here in Trinidad and Tobago. Not looking at the recreational applications. We are putting emphasis on the medicinal as well as the industrial application. On our first segment, we had Javed Bashk from Grass Labs, which they are really in development and information dispensing of the medicinal aspect and application of CBD and THC, which is from marijuana, for certain sicknesses and ailments and so on. And that in itself, for me personally, I would like to see greater emphasis placed on that area where we can do localized research on that right here in Trinidad and Tobago, and get factual information that we can present into the international stage as to our findings. We use bush medicine here all the time. It's not now we're using bush medicine, whether it be fever grass or bacano or whatever. Point is that this is part of our culture, and doing proper research in my mind and getting factual information on certain things and how it works and how it actually betters or brings betterment, more efficiency to whether you're resistance or whether it's if it's combating the virus or whatever it might be, or the ailment for that matter, whether it be pain or so on and so forth. I'm just saying, for us here in Trinidad and Tobago to have that information, where we researched it, where we studied it, and again create our booklet and present it to the world, again is about being proactive, being leaders, and the same thing. Our second segment is actually going to dive deeper into the industrial application of marijuana, which is primarily hemp. Where hempcrete and which is a concrete made from hemp, as well as fabrics and ropes and fibers and that type of thing, and what the applications towards that in an industrial environment, in an industrial application is concerned, how we are going to benefit from that, and what's the cost factors involved as well. Is it something that's going to be cheaper from what we have available to us presently, or is it going to be more expensive? And if it is more expensive, is there a greater benefit to that greater expense? Do we get more longevity from those products that's being developed? And that's what we're talking about: information to the population and having a clear idea as to what we're talking about and what we're trying to do. you talk about the PNM government right now decriminalizing marijuana. That's supposed to be a big deal. Yes, it's a huge deal, and we've been seeing that from day one. We were the biggest advocates wanting decriminalization of marijuana, and again, it was not for primarily the recreational application to this. It really was to look more deeper in the medicinal and industrial application of this. Nobody's talking it. Nobody. PNM still have to go and talk to Ministry of Agriculture. They still need to find seed stock. You see the kind of madness we dealing with, boy. We say not on $1 trillion, I would say, industry, Well, let's say $1 billion. But I think if we were if we really develop this well enough, it could be, because we can be a major supplier to the world in many different areas, many different industries where the cannabis industry is concerned. Downstream industry I'm talking about, and again, you have three major models where you have the recreation application. Recreation is not just geared on smoking and getting high. No. We are talking about their other applications, which also can stem into the medicinal aspect of things. Again, where edibles and teas and stuff is concerned, that dovetails directly into the medicinal aspect, because then now you're looking at the THC application and content versus CBD applications and content. And again, it's all about the information that the people have been starved for all these decades around the world. Because before it was illegal, it was very much legal. In fact, the US at one point, I think back in the 1800s or so, I don't quote me on that, I could be wrong, it could be actually sooner, in the 1700s, but I think it's in the 1800s. I'm not I would actually research that for that particular segment. But farmers had a mandate to actually grow a portion of their lands for marijuana, and that was used for rope and shoes and again fabrics and that type of thing, which they were growing hemp. So America became great from that. It's a major part and contributor to their industry and their development as well back then. So in fact, my director is now letting me know it's time check. Right about now it's 7 a.m. and time check at this segment was brought to you by JC Men, located in Chaguanas. Check them out. Definitely really have good styles and stuff. So you're gonna get the 411 on that real soon. So again, Trinidad and Tobago, don't go nowhere. On our next segment coming up, we are going to have our call-in guests, so don't go nowhere. It's a great one. Check it out.
Despite the security and convenience advantages offered, many have opted out of the formal banking sector and have chosen instead less traditional means of saving their money. Due in no small part to what some have termed rapacious and usurious fees and rates, the public find themselves in a position where deposits of funds in the banks lead to a net loss at the end of the year, making no sense to anyone at all. The traditional relationship is supposed to be one built on depositors' funds being made available to the banks, so that the banks could make those funds available through credit to small businesses to stimulate development and growth. This would have the effect of buoying the economy and creating jobs, a net win for everyone. But that is not what occurs right now. The absence of banking service regulations creates an environment where the banks could do as they pretty much damn well please, leading to where we are today, money warehousing. The Progressive Empowerment Party advocates for strong financial service regulations, including setting and determining banks' lending and deposit fees, so as to create an environment where the banks can continue to earn fantastic profits as they do right now, and also protect depositors from overzealous profiteering banks. Deposit fees, cash checking fees, over-the-counter fees, ATM fees, we're one step away from banks charging appearance fees. It is ridiculous, and someone has to speak about it. The public does not know who to turn to. The Financial Services Ombudsman seems to be a myth. The central bank governor and the Minister of Finance Those seem to understand whose responsibility it is to protect depositors and customers from ridiculous fees run amok. So the Progressive Empowerment Party will. We are engaging this conversation with the public, hoping to get the banks and those in government presently to do their jobs. If not, an election is around the corner. Vote the Progressive Empowerment Party into office, and we will ensure that while the banks are free to make all the profits they want, they will do so servicing and respecting the customers, paying interest on depositors' funds that they use to generate interest for themselves through lending credit, and not have to rely on advantageous fees, leaking funds from customers' accounts.
What do you call it when a bunch of companies collude to set prices, fix markets, close off competition, capture regulators, and bribe politicians?
Another issue contributing to this lack of respect and service is the closed-off nature of our financial services sector and the lack of real competition among the banks. The Progressive Empowerment Party also advocates for an open market where banking and financial services are concerned. We would create an environment that invites international competition to help bring new, vibrant stimulation into the economy, creating an environment where all banks now have to compete for depositors' funds, creating the environment that we're looking for. I am Philip Edward Alexander, and this has been 3 minutes to a better Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and once again, welcome back to Pep Talks in the Morning. And again, my name is Anthony Dufour, Deputy Political Leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and your host for today's show. And like I was saying before, we have a call-in guest, someone that I'm very honored to have on the show here today. I'm wishing, at least I was wishing, that she was able to actually be here in person, but soon enough we will have a follow-up on this. On the phone, I have Miss Penelope Spencer. She's an actress, writer, producer, local and international actor, I have to say. She's a teacher, artistic director, writer of a children's book, Tales of the Forest. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Good morning, Miss
Good morning.
Penelope. How are you this morning? I'm really happy to have you on the phone today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes.
I am very happy to be here, yes.
I actually was at one of your shows at the Central Bank Auditorium. That was the show, Ladies Room, and I have to say it was a fantastic production. I absolutely love it. That was done by R&R and RNS Production. Yes, fantastic work, man.
Yes.
Let me tell you, and to see that we have that here in Trinidad and Tobago, such talent, you know, especially within that aspect of the arts, you know, where acting and stuff is concerned. Is there, well, I mean, tell Trinidad and Tobago a little bit about that particular little skit there now.
The Ladies Room, well, it was produced by R&R and RNS Productions. It really tells the story of the lives of 6 women and how they relate, communicate, how they support each other. And it's really about telling about how women really, you know, we interact with each other and how we are there for each other, and sometimes we are not.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we try to pull down one another. So, that's what the story is about, set in a nice comical way, you know, so the story unfolds and the audience clearly get captured in it,
right.
You know.
Yeah,
so,
I was captured, let me tell you. I mean, again, the production work in itself was really, really good, and I was blown away to know this was like a Broadway show, girl. I mean, it was. Have
you ever been to the theater in Trinidad?
No. Well, actually, I've been there. I saw a couple other shows in the past,
Right.
but this was some years back.
Okay.
I have been to a show at the Little Carib Theater, I believe. Yes, they've had something there as well, and again, you know, I'm always blown away just to see the actual talent that we have here.
standard.
Yes,
Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
it's second to
Every time
none.
people come to the theater, yeah, especially foreigners, they will say the standard we have is equal, parallel to what they have outside.
That's right. That's
And
right.
on Broadway, you know, the work that we do for our set and our acting
Yes.
and our stories. Yeah, people are usually saying that it's out of this world, and they never knew that this existed in Trinidad.
And I would tell you what kind of blows my mind away is that we have such talent here, and in my mind personally, I don't think that there's been a wealth of development and funding for. What's your take on that, though? Because I know what was your experience like growing up as a child, knowing that you wanted to be an actor, or I should say an actress in Trinidad and Tobago, the environment that you had to deal with as a young person growing up. But I know that years ago, decades ago, there was somewhat a little more emphasis on local talent, simply because you had stuff like Ricky Tiki and Holly Baturier.
I mean, that's how we grew up,
Exactly.
Looking at the shows, I was in Scouting for Talent about 2 years,
Wow.
Doing my, when I used to come from, we have grown we've gone a long way. Because when I came to do theater in Port of Spain, because I'm originally from San Fernando.
Southfield, right?
Yes, as a Saudi.
Excuse me.
Yes, so I used to have to, I started theater when I was about 16, 17. I was a young mother, and I had finances were really hard to come by, and then I would have to mop a truck on the highway, from San Fernando to Port of Spain to come to town to because I'd have $10, and that was to get me back home, because they couldn't mop trucks any night. So it was a real struggle for me to come, but I did it. And then there was one time I had, the mopping truck was difficult, so I had to sell Polori and beef pie and sugar cake and all those things.
Wow.
I would make a basket early in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, get at my neighbor and I would go to a basket, pack up a basket with all these orders kind of thingy, and then we go to the hospital. I'd go to the hospital by myself and sell to the nurses and patients and stuff, and that's how I would make my little extra money. So I came from that, and then now we have developed my name and myself, and I thank God that I've reached this far. But it's still a struggle with this industry,
Yeah.
Spaces are phenomenal. The cost of a space, in Trinidad is not easy money. And then we have, government they try a lot. They try with what they have, I suppose, but the subsidy for theater and the creative is like really small. And personally, I feel that the arts, the talent of our country is the next oil.
Yeah.
And if somebody, if people would invest in us enough.
I love how you just said that. the talent of our country is the next oil. Yeah, I love that.
We have, if people just take the time to develop it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. The greater development is needed within the arts and culture of Trinidad and Tobago. We have something like the steel pan that was made right here, and you have other countries that's developing that pan more than we have even looked at it, because we're still using the pan as it was from day one presently. And you have countries, I think it's Singapore or some one of those countries in Asia that has made a synthesized version of the steel pan. And they've got their copyrights and stuff towards that. And
of course, we're going to lose just now because of our lack of pushing our talents.
Yes.
We are going to lose it because a lot of our actors and dancers left this country. We're going to have a brain drain.
Correct.
I swear sometimes, because people are not feeling, they're feeling their presence worth anything.
Right.
So you find all our dancers going to Canada, going to America, our actors going away, and
You're
so
absolutely
that's what I
correct.
fear.
You're absolutely correct about that. And, like I say, the development factor towards it is supposed to, I mean, we should have had that in place a very, very long time ago, eh?
Of course.
A very, very long time
Of
ago.
course.
And like you say, we've had a brain drain. There's a lot of top actors around the world, especially like in Hollywood for that matter, that is Trinidadian born or has Trinidadian
Yep.
influence or roots.
Roots.
Yeah, that's right. Whether
Yeah,
they,
they're not even,
whether in acting
not
or whether
looking back,
in singing and or songwriting or even production for that matter or directing, we are inserted all around the world.
Television stations are dedicated to local content, and
Yes,
how much local content you really seeing? Are they investing in our stories?
that is it.
Really?
That is
You
it.
know, you see sit down talk shows. That's mostly local content they get in.
Very true.
They only showing over all the old Westwood Park and all the old movies that we did, but nobody invested in new stuff.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's that.
And that's what's making the industry in itself so stagnant. It's not
Yep.
forging forward. It's not inserting new blood into the system as well,
No.
because there's simply no hope and opportunity in that industry right now. And in
Yeah.
fact, for a long time, for decades now,
Yeah.
because really
Yeah.
it's people like yourself and other small production companies, because again, to produce a show, it's money it takes to do that.
Of course.
And
Tens and tens of thousands.
that's
of
right.
dollars.
That's right.
And
That's right.
sometimes you do a show and you bust,
Yeah.
and you have to borrow money and to pay back people, and it could become a daunting process. Sometimes you don't want to go back into it because the help and the support is lacking, even
Correct.
in the commercial sector. The businessmen, and they're not investing. They would invest in a fatter, all-inclusive, more
Right.
than a pay sometimes.
Right. And that's the
Yes,
environment that
indeed.
we have.
Yeah. So that's my thing, my angst with this society. Like I have a new play coming up, 7 Year Itch.
Yes, I heard about that.
Yes, it's going to be fantastic. I wrote and I directed that.
Really?
And directing, yeah. And so like I know the producer, she's reaching out at Abigail Jackson, she's reaching out as many places, but like we only get one sponsorship, one person, so far.
Right.
So it's really difficult. I mean, that's why a lot of theater dropped off, because we had Raymond, God rest his soul, he's passed.
Yeah.
But we had like about 4 or 5 companies would be doing plays long time at the same time. And now only we have R&S, the one constant producer around now. So it's like really debilitating how they have us. And how theater is,
It is sad to hear you say that, because again, we know for a fact that we have so much talent on the ground here, especially within that particular field of acting and well, we know with music and so on, but the development and investment, like you said, is simply almost non-existent. And whatever is being presented to you guys within that industry is simply not enough. We have something as great as Carnival here in Trinidad and Tobago. That should also be a time that we highlight again our artistic side, whether it be with paintings or whether it be with acting or what have you, to create that environment for even that period of Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago, because we have the highest number of foreigners being on the ground right here.
Of course. And all we are being promoted as a party island. Is it that's what we want?
I like that. I like that.
I don't know if our tourists know that we have art, we have drama, we have dance.
True.
We have a carnival village, nobody invited us there. That kind of thing. We need to know that we are more than party and limers.
Yeah.
We need the world to know that, there's more to us than that. And well, as a professional myself and a teacher, because I have my acting a basic acting course that I run. I invite people to come to my school, Necessary Arts, where we teach a basic acting course.
Nice.
We have a course coming up on next week. We starting registration now.
On Monday?
But the course starts, this
Okay.
Monday we started registration. The course starts on Monday, next Monday. But that I also employ people. So when I have people do my course after they stay with the company and they get employment, because, you know, all those characters, those carnival characters,
Right.
like you might see Midnight Robber and Peregrine and stuff. So most of them are like from my company. You know, people call us and hire us for whatever, different things.
Right.
So even though you come to Necessary to get you do the course, you're part of the company and where we provide work, you know.
But
So
look
it's
at
not
that.
just you're going to do a course and you sit down waiting, you know. So so I try to make it that it's a kind of give and take back, because sometimes people did my course and by next 2-3 months they get back the money they pay for the course, because, you know, they get employment.
Right, right.
Of course. And a lot of people do my theater course for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily have to be an actor, because, you know, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be able to have to speak to people and be eloquent and be able to project. So acting is not necessarily for actors alone, it's just for life. People
Right.
to be able to live life and be able to
How are you able to engage with
heard
people
and
and that?
communicate and
Right.
how you engage with,
Yeah, I love
So
that.
as artists, we do what we have to do still, despite the lack of funding and, you know, and the lack of respect by the people in authority sometimes.
You hit that nail extremely hard there, boy. The lack of respect of people in authority sometimes.
Yeah.
That is a serious thing you just hit on there. What have you dealt with over time where authority figures are concerned within the industry that has hampered you or made you feel that you were disrespected within your own right and field? You don't have to call any names in particular.
No, I know. I'm trying not to do that. But it's just about, you have events going on in this country and nobody from the theater fraternity would be invited. You would have, sometime would be doing a play in Napa, not in these last 2 years or so, but some years ago. And if the government wants the space at the time, they would have to put out whoever doing the play at Napa, whoever is going on there, you know. That does not happen frequently, but it has happened.
It's happened before.
Yeah. Like in the budget, they would not even see where the allocations for the creative industry sometimes, you know.
Because they incorporated holistically within the entertainment aspect of the country, and usually all that money might get filtered directly to the Carnival Commission or you're right, exactly. Where your industry is you know, getting basically nothing, if anything at all.
Yeah, exactly. And the community, the corporate, you know, corporate will sponsor a fete and a dance and what instead of a play. You know, you have to beg them for money and beg, and sometimes, you know, we have had some really good relationship with some of the banks, you know, like First Citizen, who's always been a contributor to the arts, you know, but a few organizations really invest in, or say, let me put my money here in the arts, and you feel, you know, but we go through hard with what we have or what little we get.
Right.
But sometimes you feel that, you know, there's a definite lack of respect.
I hear that.
You know, the film sector, film company, all of us, we need, you know, there was a vibrant film was going on for a while, about 2-3 years ago, where you have all these international companies coming to Trinidad to do film, and the government gave 150% back. But then to figure out that form, there's a form you're supposed to fill out to get back your money, and it's like horrible. It's like I think I heard that they made it easier. I'm not sure, but that tax incentive break is not even an active. I don't know if it's active. I don't know who gets it back. But they gave us a tax break, but it's kind of hard to work out, and some people find it difficult to see about, so they just forget the whole thing.
Right.
So it just need to make it easier for the artists, and I don't find that it's happening at all enough or fast enough. And it's like no. We need people to invest in us more, and you will see. Because I know how many little girls and boys come to me and say, Auntie Penny, I want to do acting, and my parents think it's a hobby. They don't want, they don't want me to focus. They want me to focus on my academics more, not,
Right.
Even parents and all, adults and all, kind of looking at this field of theaters. Well, I mean theater and the arts on the whole,
Right.
as hobbies, and even they don't want to push their children to it.
Well,
and I've been in this business for years, and I've making my own money, and I have my car, and it's all from the arts. But a lot of
Well, I think parents look at the arts, like you say. There's no real end game, at least not here in Trinidad and Tobago. Is not like a major goal where you can see somebody or a large portion of our population being involved in the arts, having a level of hope and opportunity and making good money and that type of thing within that field, within that industry. Because like you said, like we were talking earlier, it's just simply underdeveloped, and it's not funded well enough, for it to really be all that it actually can be.
Could be, because, but I mean, as I say, there are people who making it work for them,
right? At that small level.
The support would be, would be needed. It would be so accepted if the government would just give us funding, more funding.
Yeah.
Could reach so much. We could reach a lot far. We could reach far. We could be like, this guy Winston Duke, who's into the Tobagonian guy from that the African thing, the movie.
Right.
I'm horrible with names. They have a lot of trainees out there doing their thing. But a lot of us could be there as well and come back home and teach. A lot of our people going away and they're not coming back home because there's nothing really they feel to come back to.
Well, there is nothing for them to really come back to in reality.
True.
Comparing to what they're getting out there, where it's much more sustainable for them. It makes more economical sense because they're making better money outside the shores of Trinidad and Tobago in this field versus having to come back to Trinidad. Because when you take that initiative to come back to Trinidad and say that you are inserting yourself into this industry, it would be from a standpoint of someone simply making that sacrifice and trying to educate people on the ground where the industry is concerned and expose them to, whatever they've learned themselves. But that is an individual making a sacrifice to do that because, you're not going to be making more than what you were making before. Being outside the country, so that is a conscious decision, and not to say that we don't have people that's done that. There are a lot of our locals that's come back and try to give their know-how and knowledge to young people here in Trinidad. But again, it's how long and how sustainable that in itself can be, because everybody had to eat at the end of the day. Goodwill ain't gonna fill your belly and pay the bills.
Well, some of us, we stay here and we make it work, and we hope for the best, because I think that people really, those people in charge, they see the talent, they appreciate it, but I don't know if they know how to maneuver it, how to deal with it. And we've come from this oil-based kind of thinking and mentality that, so we hope and we pray that something comes of it.
Well, I would tell you personally, on our end, like I said to you earlier off the phone when we spoke yesterday, I'm not a political person to say, well, that's what I was striving for. But I found myself inserted into politics because I knew that I had to be within it in order to help change it. In order to bring a level of betterment and make sense of all the nonsense that we've been dealing with over the years, over the decades. And where the arts is concerned, here at the Progressive Empowerment Party, we have policies to address that. Our carnival, our tourism, all these things are interconnected with each other, because we really, really can create the best show on earth. And you know, we have 365 days out of the year. We don't have to just segregate it to a carnival period just for 2 weeks or a month and say that we're going to highlight our country in this period. Yes, we may have a large number of foreigners coming on the island, but that out of that ratio of foreigners coming or people coming on the island, a large number of that is our Trinidadese citizens that left the shores coming back home to celebrate the carnival. We are talking about creating an environment that we can have 365 days a year. Not just our carnival, but an environment and platform that can highlight, like you said earlier, our arts and culture, you know, our local talent.
Sorry, a small number of the people that come into Trinidad are people who could really push our arts and culture as well. But if they don't see it, they, you know, because like I just two presenters I just heard on not just, but I heard during the carnival talking about the experience in Trinidad. You know, and they were talking about they had such good time, and these are foreign people that have talk shows. And nobody talk about the arts. They all talk about the jumping up and the feel and the party. And I'm saying nobody talk about the saw play or the saw, you know, the saw dance show. You know, they didn't even talk about panorama. Everybody just spoke on the party and aspect and the facts. So the small number of tourists who are not Trinidadians who could push our culture, they are not being exposed to it. And you know, because our Trinidadians will find, nah, you don't need to go and see that play, let's go and party. Yeah. So it's about giving a mindset to Trinidad. So let's, you know, let it be not about one thing. We're not one-dimensional people. That's not us alone, you know.
Very true. Very, 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 very true. My goodness.
So, yeah.
Penelope, I am again extremely honored. I'm now looking at the clock and it's 7:29 right now.
Really?
You see what I mean? How time flies when you're having a good time. Well, again, you know, it's really good news, and as to what it is you're doing, I take my hat off to you. And like I said, when I first saw your show 2 Sundays ago, like I said, I came on to the Pep Talks show in the morning that Monday morning, and the first thing I spoke about was that show that I saw, because again, it blew my socks off. I was really impressed to see the professional presentation that was done where that show was concerned, and it was unbelievable to me to know that we had such talent taking place here in Trinidad, and it's not even being publicized on a national level the way it should be. You know what I mean? And again, where the funding and development is concerned, definitely we have to put emphasis on that, because it's major. It's lacking majorly. Yes.
Yep, I agree.
It is.
Yes.
So again, I must thank you so much. Is there any last words you would like to tell Trinidad and Tobago before you go?
I just want people to look at my page and look at my Dr. Class program. I know we'll talk about that another time.
Yes.
And that's really one of my concerns. And also 7 Year Itch is going to play written by myself, directed by myself. We have 3 new actors coming on board. You know, they don't see new faces, but we have new faces. Nice. Rambunctian and Juve and Natasha, and we have Cecilia Salazar, myself in that place. So we can look out for that one as well and try to adopt a class.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's my last thing.
I like that.
Yeah.
Very, very much. Again, Penelope Spencer, thank you so much for being a part of our show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and I look
Thank
forward.
you for thinking that we are important enough to be on this show.
You are important, and you are as important for the world to see you, not just Trinidad and Tobago, for the world to see the talent that comes from the shore of Trinidad and Tobago, and even the region as a whole. You know, because we want to develop the region in itself, not just Trinidad and Tobago, because that's our brothers and sisters as well. We're in the same area, and we know we have that untapped talent.
And I always say, the Caribbean should stand on its own, you know.
Very true.
I would love to see all of us unite well.
Very true.
Yeah,
well
said. We are a force. That's
right. That's why they're trying to keep us apart, Gil.
Yes, exactly.
The freed.
Yes, thank you, Anthony, for having me.
Thank you so much for being on the show, Ms. Spencer. Okay, so we'll talk soon enough.
Yes.
All right, dear.
Bye.
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 All right, so Trinidad and Tobago, time check. It is now 7:32. I've gone over 2 minutes, so it's no biggie. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back to close out our show. And again, it was a great pleasure having Miss Spencer on. But we have a little thing to touch on when we come back, so don't go nowhere. Stay tuned.
Human rights and civil liberties are the cornerstone of democracy. It is no stretch to say in Trinidad and Tobago, our justice system has challenged that notion. We have people in this country languishing in prison for years, sometimes decades more than they would have been if they had already been convicted of the offense and given the maximum sentence the law allows. They are citizens of this country walking around with the anxiety of charges over their heads, again for years and for decades. We've been told justice delayed is justice denied. The Progressive Empowerment Party advocates for a speedy justice statute that gives the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the Director of Public Prosecutions and the courts responsibility for returning human rights and civil liberties to our justice system. We suggest that 24 hours from arrest to charge. We believe that an arrest should not be part of the investigation process, and that police should have enough sufficient evidence to warrant the removal of someone's liberty before they arrest them. The Progressive Empowerment Party believes, like most first world countries, that if you have sufficient evidence to deny someone their essential liberty, then you should already be well on your way to proffering a charge. If you cannot charge within 24 hours, you should be made to release. In certain cases where there are extremes, officers of the law should be allowed to apply to judges in chambers for an extension up to 72 hours. Officers that abuse the privilege or who arrest needlessly that never becomes a charge should lose the privilege. Human rights and civil liberties are a cornerstone of our democracy. A speedy justice statute states 24 hours from arrest to charge or release, 6 months from charge to begin prosecution or release, 5 years for criminal matters in court, 3 years for civil matters, or the case collapses. The judges have a responsibility to case manage and not have our cases wandering on aimlessly for years and decades. We need to bring justice back to our justice system. Human rights and civil liberties are cornerstones of a democracy, and the Progressive Empowerment Party advocates for a speedy justice statute that leaves none of our people victimized by a justice system that is blaming incompetence on a backlog as a reason for more incompetence and a backlog. If we cannot arrest and charge based on evidence, do not arrest and charge. If we cannot mount a case within 6 months of the arrest, do not attempt to prosecute. And if we cannot case manage a criminal matter in 5 years, we shouldn't be sitting in judgment of anybody. It is time that this country functioned as a first world nation. It is time that we used our abilities and our knowledge and the assets available to us to create a developed nation out of whatever this is. I am Philip Edward Alexander. This has been 3 minutes to a better TNT.
Once again, Trinidad and Tobago, welcome. Pep Talks in the morning. Anthony Defoe, your host here for today's show. Earlier, and actually just before the break, we had Penelope Spencer, actress, writer, producer, local and international actor, director. She's a teacher for 25 years, artistic director, writer of a children's book. This is someone that our young people certainly should have to be able to look up to be in a place that she can be seen, and knowing the work that she's done and still doing. You know, we have pockets and individuals of that scenario here on the ground in Trinidad and Tobago, and that's because they are seeking a betterment themselves. trying to bring some light or opportunity to young people, which is a big deal, a really, really big deal. And again, I take my hat off to Ms. Spencer. You know, you are a force to be reckoned with, and I love everything that you're doing, and I commend every last thing again that you have taken as an initiative, not just for yourself, but what you're also doing for the young people of Trinidad and Tobago. I should say the citizens on a whole, because you know, anyone can be influenced from the work that you've done thus far and what you're doing presently. And you know, that's Trinidad and Tobago. This is Trini born, South girl. You know, and where we are able to really bring greater development, and we're not just talking development of the economy, and because you know, the arts industry and culture is a big, or can be a big contributor to the economy in itself. And again, that dovetails right into tourism, us being able to create, I was talking earlier with one of my peers, where the concept of a carnival avenue concept, where we have a street or a village of sorts that, let's say, all the mass leaders headquarters is located. You know, we have halls and you know, spaces that can be used for the arts, whether it be painting or acting, music, you know, something that can be used the year round, 365 days a year, highlighting and showcasing what we produce here in Trinidad and Tobago as our citizens, you know, what we do here within our culture, and presenting that to the world, but presenting it in a proper way, not no Mickey Mouse fly-by-night business where people could thief our money under the table and you know, the usual BS that we've always done with these type of initiatives over the years and decades, that never had any sustainability, that never really you know, got off the ground and maintained itself in such a way that it really made a real change within that area or industry, for that matter. Again, Trinidad and Tobago is simply picking sense from the nonsense and creating policies that can be scrutinized, that can be understood, and that can actually work and bring a betterment to the people or citizenry as a whole. Just bring it better, gain more, you know, have more, get that hope and opportunity. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. You know, we're trying right now to scat spraddle to do what? Properly diversify the economy, but the administrations that's presently there, they themselves don't seem to know how to diversify the economy properly. It's all just plaster on the sore. That's all they do, constantly, time and time again. And you know, we need that whole dynamics to change. Everything needs to change. We want to address everything across the board. And today's show, I took it upon myself to really put some highlight on the arts and culture of Trinidad and Tobago. And Miss Spencer is one of the key people on the ground that, again, you've heard the interview just now, and I'm hoping to have her on air live in the future, possibly on a part 2 segment to this feature of arts and culture in Trinidad and Tobago. You know, what can we do systematically? What plans we can develop to actually have a level of longevity, bringing also a level of positivity to the population, bringing exposure regionally as well as internationally. Proper development, Trinidad and Tobago, it's not far-fetched, you know. We can have another Hollywood right here, you know, again, with the concept of the Carnival City or the Carnival Avenue concept. You know, we can adopt something similar to, let's say, as Hollywood have their stars on the ground, of who they commemorate or who they highlight, whether it be winners of competitions or what have you, for that to be highlighted within that concept in itself. We don't have to use a star as per se. We can create something of our own. But my point is to simply create something properly that not just locally our people can be recognized, and for us to make a big deal of it. And again, having proper development in that industry, you know, instead of parents feeling to themselves, like Ms. Spencer was saying, you know, families or parents would quicker look at their child and want them to go down the academic road. They don't want them to look at the artistic side of things, simply because you know, it's almost non-existent. You how much money can you make really in that industry or field here in Trinidad and Tobago? You know, they say the struggling artists all the time. There's a reason why they say it, because artists they are struggling. It's that simple. You know, when are we going to change that? No, let's change that now. Let's change that now, Trinidad and Tobago. We can be all that we dream to be. It's just for us to really want it. It's just for us to really make sense of the nonsense and, you know, do the right thing. It's that simple. We do the right thing when we go to first world countries as second-class citizens, don't we? Why can't we do the right thing right here? Because the laws don't work, the country don't work, the systems don't work properly to bring that level of sanity and betterment to the people. It's what we're preaching. Right through, right through, right through. It's what we're preaching right through, right through, right through. So, again, Carnival Avenue concept. Everything that is Carnival, everything that is our culture, everything that we are presenting within arts and you know, acting and music, and, you know, for us to have that area, and not no little Mickey Mouse thing either. You know, we need to find a nice concept where we encompass a city almost in developing this, you know, carnival village, as we would like to call it, you know, or carnival town or carnival city, or whatever the concept really would be as far as what the population wants to call this thing. You know, we don't want to shove anything down anybody's throat. Point is that, you know, let's have a talks about it. Let's have dialogue. Let's come up with an idea and a plan and a real policy that can work on the ground in Trinidad and Tobago in bringing our arts and culture to the forefront of for the world, not just for Trinidad or the region, for the world. You know, because we have that skill set. We do right here. Some of the top actors around the world are Trinidad based, like we said before, have Trinidad and Tobago roots. You know, that could have been here. They could have been putting their skill set right here had they had that hope and opportunity. You know, and that's what we preach all the time. It's just everything across the board. Nothing works. People ain't getting betterment. They're not. So what we saying again? What we saying again, Trinidad and Tobago? Really? Do you want betterment? Do you want change? Do you want the medical field to work? You want education to work? You want the traffic to work? What you want? What do you want? You want money in your pocket to have value? What you want? Trinidad and Tobago say now. In fact, what's our number? It's at 347-47-747. Okay, so it's 34. What's the last two numbers? Okay, beautiful. Give me a call in if you want that, Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, you can call me on my phone, 688-4012. 688-4012, and tell me what you think of today's show. If there's anything you want to just touch base on. 37, right? Or you can call on 347-4737. I'm supposed to be remembering this number right by now, you know. That's absolutely horrible. I need coffee. More coffee, actually. But yeah, Trinidad, if you want to give me a call in, you can at 347-4737, or you could give me a call on 688-4012. You know, give me an idea as to what's going on in your head, what's happening in your neck of the woods, and that kind of thing. But really and truly, development. That's what we're talking about. That's what needs to happen. Proper development of everything across the board. And today we are just looking at our arts and culture, and we can do 100 times better than what we're doing right now. 100 times better than what we're doing right now, really. If we can just stop the hemorrhaging across the board in Trinidad and Tobago, we would have a lot more money to really be able to do what is needed to be done. It's just having the will to do it. The people that's there right now don't have the will to do it. This is why you have a Progressive Empowerment Party today. Because we are here with the will to get the job done. We're not just saying that. We really, really mean it. And you need to know that we mean it. You need to understand and have the idea in your head that yes, you are going to gain a level of betterment, because again, we're not here just to have fun and skin teeth and giggles. In fact, I think I have a call coming in. Hello, morning. Hold on, let me see if I can get your volume up. I'm barely hearing you.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning. How you going?
I'm good.
You're live on Pep Talks in the morning.
Yeah, morning. Very Trinidadian, just like carnival every day. But there's chilies in here like just rum and roti, or ganja. That's the lifestyle of Trinidadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, that lifestyle is great because everybody else like to wake up late, go to work when they want. These kind of things really like.
Well, that's what we've bred in the culture in itself. We look at the government programs such as CPEP, or URP. They have a joke that they used to say that CPEP workers, you go see them working for a half hour, and they sit down for the rest of the time that the day, and they still get paid for a day's pay. I mean, if the environment allows it to take place like that, I mean, the people would look, because from the top, as leaders, they are not leading and showing by example what needs to be done for them to be accountable and for them to be responsible. So what's left for the regular man on the ground, boy?
True, but they want to know how you're going to be tied to alcohol and how you're going to legalize the way, a proper way like a for to smoke more free. These kind of things Chinese be looking for.
Yeah, well, that's why right now the administration with the new decriminalization of the law of marijuana is why, again, the chain up the youths, the chain up people across the board in the country, making them feel like, yes, this is a big deal. Woo! This thing decriminalized, boy, we could take a burn and we ain't going to get locked up. But then realize they're talking about 30 grams that you could have legally in your possession. But the AG talk about we able to grow 4 trees, right? But not realizing that per tree could produce up to 300 grams. So what is the position of the citizen at that point? So police could run in your yard and find over 300, over 30 grams, and you could get locked up then. You understand the heights on that? And that is the whole point why nothing they're doing making any kind of sense. It's just making no kind of sense whatsoever, because you can't decriminalize something and still don't know what is the steps that you're taking in developing the industry. All right, let me forget about the medicinal side and the industrial side, and you want to insist on putting focus on the recreational aspect of it, with the boys on the block smoking the weed and them kind of thing. Still, how is the state benefiting from it in any way, form, or fashion if it's not regularized in a way such as how alcohol or tobacco is done under those models, where the state can still gain some level of taxation on this, because the state still don't know where you're getting your seeds, who is the suppliers, who growing. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody have any type of real outline as to how this new industry or the decriminalization, because really they didn't do nothing to create any kind of industry whatsoever where this thing is concerned. They just come out in the public space, or they could grow 4 trees with decriminalizing, and you could have 30 grams in your possession. That's what the throw down we throat, and we bite that, swallow it, and run away with it,
Yeah, but how PEP gonna regularize this if they're gonna regularize it?
Well, again, it's not a matter if you put the Progressive Empowerment Party in office, decriminalization, yes, is a step, but the point is you must have a model in how you're going to develop that step, because you're bringing something into the public free that was illegal for donkey years. People lock up in jail right now for marijuana possession, right? And even though it decriminalized, they're still they're still not free. You have people who still not free. You understand what I'm saying? But my point is, where PEP is concerned with the development of this, we weren't emphasizing on the recreational aspect. We were looking towards the medicinal and industrial aspect, like hemp, for example, being inserted in concrete and fabric and rope and all these different type of things. That's downstream industries from hemp in itself. The medicinal aspect, which is the actual weed, marijuana that we just smoke to try to get high. The point is, there are compounds in marijuana such as THC and CBD, which again, this is information the state is not putting out there and letting the population understand and know exactly what can really be the benefits and what are the industries that can be developed from the decriminalization of marijuana. They ain't talking that talk at all, because if you're talking again with the industrial application, is hardware, you need lands to grow hemp, and developing the technology in itself and the development of that and how we are going to insert that or fuse it in present day construction items and so on. If it's the medicinal aspect, like for CBD, for people who dealing with cancer and leukemia and other ailments, arthritis and so on. Again, the components of CBD and THC is something that can benefit these people without any type of side effects. Again, this is information they are not putting into the public space. They are not teaching the population or educating them with that information. It's just simply, in my mind, is a political tool for the youth across the country to feel, well, PNM do something for them, decriminalizing marijuana, not realizing that the same PNM could send the state to come and lock you up and throw away the key. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And next thing is the prison system. Like, people were in jail for 15 years and the case still going on. What the plans that have in place for these kind of people?
Well, again, we want to amend certain laws. We want to change certain things. And having a Progressive Empowerment Party in office where prisoners are concerned, where that side of things are concerned, is a several prong effect, because we would like to create it's a time frame of sorts where for civil cases it's, I think, up to 3 years. It should not go beyond that. In the event of any of our citizens being incarcerated in any way, or in jail or remand yard or what have you, that is something that should be thrown out, especially if the time has been served already and they still have not seen a judge. The point is that there's a lot of time frames for certain charges, and if you're locked away in jail and still ain't see a judge and your case still ain't heard, and we are able to say, well, here what, this has gone beyond that time frame, you have to release these people. If in criminal cases it's up to 5 years. We don't want that to go beyond. And if in present time that we get into office and we realize that after scrutinizing the cases and doing case studies and so on, murders is a whole different ball game altogether, right? But where other cases are concerned, again, we are looking at a 5-year tenure for that to be the length and breadth. And if that time has gone beyond, we have to do serious review and getting our citizens out, because we are committing human rights violations right now. For donkey years we doing that, brother. You understand what I'm saying? So the point is that we must have a clear idea as to how we are entering into government, because we know the issues for fact as to what the citizens are dealing with across the board. So our policies and plans can't be no Mickey Mouse fly-by-night thing, vague, like UNC talking about the going and get 50,000 people jobs in Trinidad. How are you doing that? What is the mechanism? What is the plan you have to do that? But you're talking that on a podium. We here, the Progressive Empowerment Party, could tell you how we going and put 50,000 people employed in Trinidad. In fact, we will raise that number to 100. You understand? Because we have plans and policies. We have an idea, a blueprint as to how to move forward what it takes, the cost factor involved, time frame allotted for these things to take place, as well as having accounting periods within that time frame that we have to be able to account to the people as to the progress to these certain policies and protocols that we want to put into the fray of the public. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we not trying to be no fly-by-night party partner. We are regular citizens like yourself that simply pick sense some nonsense, and the easiest place between two places is a straight line, no zigzag business. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's a level of efficiency we need to bring to the board, as well as knowing what we are doing can actually happen. No pie in the sky kind of thing. But the point is that we can't do it outside the parliament. We must be able to do it inside the parliament. That's where the changes need to take place.
All right. Thanks for the information.
No problem, brother. Thanks a lot for giving me a call this morning. Right, so Trinidad and Tobago. Let me see here. Time check. What's our time check, boy? Wow. Well, again, time flies when you're having fun. It's 7:58 right about now. So we have a couple more minutes before we close off and call it a day. So Trinidad and Tobago, I hope that the show today was somewhat informative for you and you understood what was being said. Again, I give much thanks and appreciation to Ms. Penelope Spencer being on our show, call-in show today. Again, this is someone that our young people can look up to, and there are other individuals across the board in Trinidad and Tobago that is also in the same position. Again, we have to be in a place where we can highlight these people. We can highlight the good that is happening in Trinidad. Where we are trying to actually bring change and really create a difference for our young people, for people across the board here as our brothers and sisters. It's our responsibility, man. We can't seek distress to our brothers and sisters, to our neighbors, to our family, to our friends. We can't. We must seek a level of betterment. Everybody being in a better place, it means to say everything is gonna be fixed. Everybody is gonna be okay, and that's where we need to be. We can't be fighting each other down anymore. We can't do it. We can't create these lines of division, of separation, of segregation. We have to stop that. Let's identify ourselves as Trinidad and Tobagonians, full stop. Nobody is Indo, nobody is Afro, nobody is nothing. We are Trinbagonians, Trinidadian and Tobagonian. That's who we need to identify ourselves as, being on the shores of this fine nation called Trinidad and Tobago. And we can have better, we will have better. So, with that said, again, I do want to give much thanks to Ms. Spencer. Look out, next Monday is when I'm going to be back. We're going to possibly have a part 2 to the cannabis industry, where we're looking at the industrial applications. We want to go a little bit in depth, hoping for my comrade to return to Trinidad or to be available for the interview on Monday. So certainly look out for that. I'm not setting it in stone, but I would see if I can have a promo out in the event that we do get the confirmation on that. And that discussion in itself is going to entail a lot of the industrial applications, such as the hempcrete, which is the insertion of hemp fibers in concrete in itself, which makes the block in itself lighter, stronger, fire retardant, temperature controlled. There's a host of different benefits from this, and that's just one area, one item within the industrial application of hemp. So we just want to go into that. So again, we bring some light to you, the population, that is not decriminalizing marijuana is not about just smoking down the place and just getting buzzed, feeling nice. Woo! No. There's a lot more to it. And again, I know there are people out there that is not in favor of the decriminalization of marijuana. But again, in my mind, I do believe that it simply was a level of information and propaganda that was placed to the public why we have people feeling the way that they feel. They simply don't understand the dynamics towards this. And bringing that information to the public, I think better understanding would allow for this to actually be a much better proposal and presentation to the nation in itself that can contribute to the GDP of the country and its economy, and just bring a betterment to you, Trinidad and Tobago. So with that said, rant is over. Again, thank you so much for watching Pep Talks this morning, or Pep Talks in the morning, with me, Anthony Defoe, Deputy Political Leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and your host for today's show. Look out tomorrow for Felicia Holder, and on Friday, I believe we're going to have Natalia and Lemma McLeod that will be hosting that show as well. I will be back on Monday next week. So again, Trinidad and Tobago, look out. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week, and be safe, Trinidad and Tobago.
Human rights and civil liberties are the cornerstone of democracy. It is no stretch to say in Trinidad and Tobago, our justice system has challenged that notion. We have people in this country languishing in prison for years, sometimes decades more than they would have been if they had already been convicted of the offense and given the maximum sentence the law allows. They are citizens of this country walking around with the anxiety of charges over their heads, again for years and for decades. We've been told justice delayed is justice denied. The Progressive Empowerment Party advocates for a speedy justice statute that gives the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the Director of Public Prosecutions and the courts responsibility for returning human rights and civil liberties to our justice system. We suggest that 24 hours from arrest to charge. We believe that an arrest should not be part of the investigation process, and that police should have enough sufficient evidence to warrant the removal of someone's liberty before they arrest them. The Progressive Empowerment Party believes, like most first world countries, that if you have sufficient evidence to deny someone their essential liberty, then you should already be well on your way to proffering a charge. If you cannot charge within 24 hours, you should be made to release. In certain cases where there are extremes, officers of the law should be allowed to apply to judges in chambers for an extension up to 72 hours. Officers that abuse the privilege or who arrest needlessly that never becomes a charge should lose the privilege. Human rights and civil liberties are a cornerstone of our democracy. A speedy justice statute states 24 hours from arrest to charge or release, 6 months from charge to begin prosecution or release, 5 years for criminal matters in court, 3 years for civil matters, or the case collapses. The judges have a responsibility to case manage and not have our cases wandering on aimlessly for years and decades. We need to bring justice back to our justice system. Human rights and civil liberties are cornerstones of a democracy, and the Progressive Empowerment Party advocates for a speedy justice statute that leaves none of our people victimized by a justice system that is blaming incompetence on a backlog as a reason for more incompetence and a backlog. If we cannot arrest and charge based on evidence, do not arrest and charge. If we cannot mount a case within 6 months of the arrest, do not attempt to prosecute. And if we cannot case manage a criminal matter in 5 years, we shouldn't be sitting in judgment of anybody. It is time that this country functioned as a first world nation. It is time that we used our abilities and our knowledge and the assets available to us to create a developed nation out of whatever this is. I am Philip Edward Alexander. This has been 3 minutes to a better TNT.